Hello, everybody. Welcome to another great day of SSL soccer. My name is Xenlos, and I still don't know if I should say soccer after SSL. I guess I should, but anywho, we're here for Game 2 of the group stage of the SSL Cup. Some exciting games in Game 1, hoping that Game 2 will bring us just the same. So as you see on the docket, we have Montreal, Catalunya, Sao Paulo, Red Star, Hollywood, Athênai, Reykjavik versus Buenos Aires, London versus Perry, Kaapstad versus Romana, Schwarzwälder versus Tokyo, and Seoul versus Cairo. Your ticket to the knockouts rounds could be punched today. And we'll see how it goes with our first game, which is Catalunya versus Montreal. Catalunya drew Sao Paulo in their first game. So they're currently sitting second in the group with 1 point. And Montreal lost to Red Star Laos in their first game of the group. So they sit at the bottom of the group. So we'll see if Montreal's fortunes can change today. But it's going to be tough against a very good Catalunya team. As it sounds like the players are getting ready to come onto the field. And we should be just about getting ready to get started here with game number 1 out of 8. I hope you're ready. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good match day. I can feel it. As you see here, that is a 6-2-1-1. I'm not even sure what to call that. Catalunya coming out in a 5-2-3. Or is that a 4-3-3? Is that a fancy 4-3-3 with a central midfielder and a defensive midfielder? Maybe? Val? Okay. You see Catalunya in their token yellow and red, and Montreal in the black and green. And we are underway here in Montreal. As Rage is going to boom it out, it's going to be going out of bounds for a throw-in. What is that? Like, I'm so fast. Is that a 3-5-2? A 3-5-1-1? I'm getting better at understanding tactics, but I'm still not quite all the way there. This here's Juliusson going over to Staines. Staines hitting Vins on the edge of the box. Goes in, goes for the cross, and that's Dogwood Maple! And it's 1-0! Catalunya! Just like that in the 14th minute. As you see, Juliusson goes over to Staines, goes to Vins. Maple got on the right side of Fontebens, had the clear shot, was able to just tap it in. As we pick back up in the 18th minute, here's Cinnamon going over to Ketchup Noodle, the Calavada. As they go over, find Salic, it's off the post, and then going to be cleared out by Gunnarsson. This time is starting to move on this first half. Here's Juliusson going over to Sherwood. 32nd minute to Mojo Rising. Going, well, I'm not quite sure where Mojo Rising was going, but wherever they were going, it did not reach its destination. But Catalunya is still holding on to possession, going over back to Rising to JJ Okocha to Mueller, finding Wesley Staines, fires and scores! 2-0, Catalunya, 33rd minute. Rising goes over to Okocha to Mueller, Staines beats his man, stays onside, beats Rage. And that's how you draw it up. As we go 43rd minute now. Mojo rising over to Wesley Staines to JJ Okocha. Okocha going over to Maple. Good challenge by Wartooth, but they hold on to possession. Maple finds a goal and scores! There were some very good challenges on that play, and I'm not quite sure how Maple ended up with it in the end. You see Okocha going for Maple, slide by Wartooth. They go for Maple again, Cinnamon with a block on the pass, but blocks it right back to Maple, who can just put it in. As you see, those lines are close, but it looks like Pedersen will keep Maple on side. 3-0 Catalunya as we hit the half. Catalunya out shooting 12-4, 5 on target to 1. He was 1.5 XG to 0.31. Been all Catalunya all the time this game so far. So we'll have to see if any changes can be made on Montreal's side to try to, as I like to say, change their fortunes. And now we hit the second half. I did not see, it did not look like there were any substitutions. Which is odd to me, because usually Catalunya has 1-4 substitutions. If I recall correctly, that's Juliusson going over to Gunnarsson. Intercepted by Calavera. Montreal on the attack. Here's Selic over to Pedersen. Pedersen for the cross. Looks for Noodle. No! It's turned away and then cleared out. A whole lot of people right in front of the goal, but no goals come out of it. As we go to the 58th minute, here's a corner by Pedersen. It's going to be headed over the net, and that'll be a goal kick. And now time is starting to move. Time's starting to quickly run out for Montreal to even get a consolation goal in this contest, and there it is. Catalunya takes a 3-0 victory. Very quiet second half, but Catalunya didn't really need to do anything in that second half. As you see, the XG 1.75 to 1.41. The game obviously could have been a lot closer than it was. If you round properly, you would get a 2-1 score here. 3-0 might be a little unfair to Montreal, but Dogwood Maple putting out man of the match level performance. 2 goals, 8.7 rating on the board. As you see Catalunya with their match scores, good times. But yeah, that is going to close the book on this first game. Now take us to our second game, which is Sao Paulo versus Red Star. Excuse me. Sao Paulo drew Catalunya on the first day of the groups, and Red Star defeated Montreal 3-0. Or by 3. I don't know if it was necessarily 3-0. But so Red Star actually, if they can win here, if they can find a way to topple Sao Paulo, they will go on to the knockout stage. So big game for Red Star today. Can they get it done is what it's going to come down to. As we see Sao Paulo coming out in a 4-3-3 defensive wingers. And Laos comes out in the 4-2-3-1. That one I know. Okay. As you see, there is a look at our table. We are underway Now, what is going to admittedly throw me off on this game is that Red Star Lao are not wearing the primary red uniforms, and Sao Paulo are wearing the primary. Oh, that's a big trip! My goodness! As off the free, Anderson makes the save. Here I am talking about uniform colors, and Furious Chicken just gets the trip of his life. It's going to be cleared out, picked up by Anshaw. Anshaw going for the long cross, looking for Owen 44, but no, it's headed away, intercepted, taken by Furious Chicken, who's going up the field, turns around, looks for Snooks. Snooks goes to the cross to Chang Shan, to Jones, to Tato. Pat Tato puts it in, and it's 1-0 on the absolutely mashed shot of Pat Tato. Boy, a minute and a half in, we could be in for something. We're going to get a look at the offside here. Those lines are close, but Mayhem keeps them on. Ooh. What a start to this game that was. Essenvitz picking up the Gavin Millar special, the first minute yellow. As you see, Hunter Jones is injured on the pitch, but is continuing to play. And that's going to be a penalty. You can't do that in the box. Here's Owen 44 to line up for the penalty against Kanders. 17th minute, 44, runs up, fires, scores! Kanders guesses wrong, and we're tied 1-1. That was a very interesting penalty. It was a big trip that happened on the very edge of the box from what it looked like up here in the press box. But doesn't matter how it happened. The fact of the matter is it happened. And now we're tied as Checker. Ooh, interesting challenge by Anshaw. Another good challenge by Scarpetta. So Laos holding onto the ball. They go over to Dello, to Norris, to Snooks. Snooks goes over to Chang Shan, who goes deep looking for Hunter Jones. To Pat Tato. Pat Tato fires! It's off the bar! And that's going to be recovered by Tessenvitz. Is that going to be all we get to see before halftime? No. 42nd minute. That's going to be cleared out, picked up by Arasov. Arasov over to Tessenvitz to Lexington. They play a little bit of back and forth. They go all the way back to Anderson. Furious Chicken tries to go for the cheeky when playing it out of the back. Goes wrong moment, but can't do it. Kanders ends up with the ball, goes over to Norris, to Scarpetta, back to Kanders. He's going to go towards midfield. Look for Jean-Claude. It's intercepted, picked up by Funyuns. Remember Funyuns, the official snack of the SSL, hashtag not sponsored. That's Anshaw getting challenged by Checker. Over to Hunter Jones. Checker going forward to Jones again. Jones trying to dribble it ahead to Jean-Claude, but Anshaw intercepts it. Maybe Jones still feeling that injury. Can't quite run at his usual pace. As we go forward to Owen 44, and that's a long cross, and that's headed away, but picked up by Mayhem. And this is still going, goes back in, looks for Owen 44, and he finds him on the header. 1. Never mind, it's not. It's 1-1 still. Oh, those lines are close. Those lines are very close. As we hit the half, Sao Paulo and Red Star tied 1-1 in this affair. One possibility that I did not bring up earlier was what happens if this game goes to a tie. That would mean that Lao is tied on points with Catalunya and would have, I believe, a tied goal differential as well. So it would become a winner-take-all match between them on the final day. And as long as they don't draw and Sao Paulo doesn't lose to Montreal United, yeah, Sao Paulo would be in, but I know they wouldn't necessarily. I stand corrected. I'll figure out the math on it later. Here's Canders rolling it out to Scarpetta. Yeah, Sao Paulo would need to beat Montreal United. This draw wouldn't be good enough. But here is Edge. That's a big trip. You can't do that in the box. A second penalty for Sao Paulo. Here's 44 again. 47th minute. Lines up against Canders. The run up, the shot, fired, scores! Canders guesses right, but doesn't dive far enough. And now it's 2-1 in favor of Sao Paulo. So now here's off the free kick. Good save by Canders. As Funyun delivers a wonderful free kick to Arasov. But nothing doing there. As time is starting to run out for Lao to find their equalizer, only about, oh, excuse the voice crack, only about 10 minutes left here. In this game, you have to wonder how much that injury is hampering Hunter Jones, as we're now about to make the cross into stoppage time. Chang Shan on the interception. They get it over to Scarpetta as they're trying to play a little bit forward. Still got 2 minutes to work with, and while 2 minutes is not an insignificant amount of time, it's not a lot of time. Big if true. Sao Paulo playing a lot of time wasting. Short passes to just keep the clock moving. They go forward to 44. Looks for his hat trick and finds it. Oh, and 44 is third goal of the game. Third one that counts anyway. As Sao Paulo goes up 3-1 over Red Star. And that's the dagger for this game, we have to assume, barring some sort of crazy miracle. My goodness. That is indeed. Sao Paulo wins the game 3-1 over a very tough Red Star squad. Running... Red Star, they like to play a very aggressive game. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it bites you in the butt. And this is one of those games where it bit them in the butt. You just can't surrender 2 penalties and expect to win unless you're in a penalty kicking phase of the game, in which case you've surrendered 5 penalties and you have your own chance to match with 5 penalties of your own. But in regular timed play, that's just unfortunate for them. All right. You see 19 shots to 10, 8 on target to 2. The 3.10 XG is a little misleading because of the 2 penalties, but still a well-deserved victory from Sao Paulo. As that puts a bow on Group A for today, which means we're going to start moving over to Group B, where we'll be starting with Hollywood versus Athênai. Currently, Hollywood and Athênai are both at the bottom of the table with 0 points as they both lost their first game of the group stage. Hollywood only lost by 1 to Buenos Aires. Athênai lost by 5 to Reykjavik. So a big mountain to climb for Athênai if they want to get back into this qualification race. A draw here would actually be very bad for both of these teams. So will one of these teams come out on top? We'll find out. We're back in about a minute. We'll see you then. Alrighty, everybody, we are back. Here you see Hollywood lining up in their asymmetric 4-2-3-1 Taka, lining up towards the left side, as Athênai is lining up in a 5-1-4 is what I'm going to call that. As you see, there is our look at the live table for Group B. See, the players are getting ready, and we are underway with Athênai starting us off. Going over to Hyuga, to Bradford, going deep, looking for Panda. They find Panda as they go for Pelletier into the box, but no, intercepted by one Costanza. And this game is officially off and running. Let's go over to Bradford. It's going to be no, intercepted by Gerard, given to Costanza again. Going back to Von Bismarck, who's going to clear it out. Picked up by Smallwood, over to Tiki Taka. Tiki Taka, where was that one going? Apparently my casting compatriot thought that was almost one of the goals of the season. And that's a take. One of the takes of all time. As we go over to Smallwood, that's going to be picked up by Nagatoro, over to Tiki Taka again, passed over the Linkwai to Possible. Possible going deep looking for Taka, but no, headed away by Newport. Picked up by DeSormo. As they go over to Hyuga, the submarine. To Siege Leroy, just playing back and forth passing. As that pass is intercepted by Hollywood, brought into Tiki Taka into the box. Nope, never mind, not quite into the box. They go back to Gerard, to Valor. Valor goes over to Lightning. Lightning goes in. They find Taka in the box. This time he fires and scores. Beats Brian Duke. And that's 1-0 in favor of Hollywood. As you see, finally dancing, after dancing around the edge of the box for so long, they finally find a way in, and they do not miss. So now we join 27th minute. We go over to Bradford, over to Panda. Panda going towards Bradford right at the edge of the box in the middle. As that pass is to... it's going to be intercepted. But then possession brought back, as that's Bradford. Jake Bradford scores. It looked to me like Von Bismarck got a hand on it, and it just did not matter that they got a hand on it. Let's see this again. Pagio's going to go in for Panda. Panda gets it over to Bradford. Yeah, Von Bismarck does, in fact, parry it. Somehow parrying it behind him into the goal. My goodness. And here is Gerard. Oh, that's saved by Duke. Duke was ready for that play off of the set piece as Gerard goes back. It's going to be blocked by DeSemino. Duke will yoink it out of the air. 5 minutes till halftime. Goes deep, was looking for Bradford, but it's picked up by Panda, but then intercepted by Possible. Passes over to Linkwai. They're going to go deep looking for Tiki Taka, who beats Newport. Duke comes out of the goal! Taka fires and Taka scores! And that's 2-1 in favor of Hollywood. A very critical goal for Hollywood right before the half. As the ball is stolen, Taka paces past Newport. Duke comes out of the goal to try to meet him, and Taka is just able to get it past him. So we have DeSemino. Over to Duke, who's going to take it and just boom it as far as he can. As Linkwai fires and scores! from 30 yards out almost. Just gets it over Duke. And that play happens so quickly, so out of nowhere. Linkwai just goes for it, gets a great curl on the ball. It bounces off the post into the goal. There's not really much you can do if you're Brian Duke in that situation. We're still not going to halftime yet, as Hollywood looks to maybe add more. Here's Taka, fires, it's over the net. And that will take us to halftime. What an exciting back 5 minutes that was of that half. As you see, Hollywood holds a 3-1 lead. 16 shots to 3, 6-1 on target. 2.10 XG to 0.38. Been all Hollywood with the exception of that one goal by Athênai. See if any subs are coming into the game. To change up things for this second half. I'm thinking about these subs for a hot minute. All right, we are back. Hamza and Levert coming in for Smallwood and Lightning. As you see now, 54th minute. Athênai trying to find their way back into this game. But Hollywood just being too suffocating with this possession as we go over to Gerard. Towards that back corner. Long cross, Linkwai! Linkwai scores! And apparently Specchero received the yellow card. I'm not quite sure for what. But he apparently received a yellow, indeed, for something, as Linkwai puts the ball into the net. He received a yellow card 5 minutes ago. As they're thinking, Taka puts in another one. It's 5-1 Hollywood. The wheels have just fallen off the wagon. Hollywood in front of their home crowd, running up the score. '65th minute now. Here's Valor going for Linkwai. No, it's going to be headed out, but picked up by Possible. Possible taking it towards that back corner. Trying to pass it around. Bradford does. Goes over to Levert. Intercepted by Bradford. But Levert steals it back. Goes over to Valor. Valor. Oh! That shot seemed like it came from the better part of Valor, but unfortunately just missed the net as we go to the 70th minute. To Gerard. It's headed and slide shot by Tiki Taka. It was headed. It was saved. And Tiki Taka came sliding in like he's... I can't even make that joke. What a shot. And that's going to do it. Hollywood wins 6-1. Tiki Taka, 4 goals, 1 assist. Obviously a 10.0 performance. Linkwai, the 9.7 performance with 2 goals and 1 assist. Just good days all around for the most part for Hollywood. Athênai had a little bit of a rougher day. You see, Bobby Newport was a nice bright spot on the team, but everyone else kind of struggled a little bit this game, and it's unfortunate. But you know, Hollywood just played a heck of an aggressive game. Like, it was kind of slow at the start, and once that 40-minute mark hit, they just turned on the Jets for about half an hour of game time. Went absolutely nuts, and they're like, all right, we're done. But, my God. So that's going to put Hollywood up to 3 points, which puts them in a tie with Reykjavik and Buenos Aires, who are the two teams in our next game, wouldn't you know, which is Reykjavik versus Buenos Aires. Both of these teams currently sitting at the top of the table with 3 points each. Reykjavik with the lead on goal differential on 5-1. So Reykjavik has been putting up a lot of points, it feels like, recently this season. So we'll see as they come out in the 4-1-4-1. Casual up top. Buenos Aires coming out in the 4-3-3. Torres and Penshaw up top. The players are coming onto the field, getting into their team huddle. We are underway in Reykjavik. Joker going up for Lopta. Lopta already on the board in 16 seconds. Never mind, it's disallowed. I think that would have been the fastest goal in SSL history. If not, it would have been dang close. But unfortunately, called off. So here's 8th minute. They find Andrews way open by themselves. Goes for the long cross, finds Lopta. This time, he has to be onside. And that's going to be 1-0 Reykjavik, 9th minute. Lopta goes long to Andrews, takes the time to run in, stays onside. Knight misses the header, who is marking Lopta. And that's just, oh boy. Okay. Here's Catalunya going over to Gorkov. Over to Ask Jeeves. Remember, Ask Jeeves, the official search engine of the SSL. Why get an answer in a tenth of a second when you can ask an old man? Ask Jeeves. As we go over to Lopta, over to Ricky Bobby. Ricky Bobby, ooh, good challenge by Jeeves. That's going to be cleared out. Here's Letitia on the free. It's a missed jump by Oakdown, and Casual converts. And that's 2-0 Reykjavik. You see Letitia goes to the long cross. Oakdown jumps for it, misses. Nobody else challenges it. Goes right to Casual. He's just able to just dink it in because there's no keeper there anymore. 25th minute. Joker to that back corner, passes it over to Lopta, back over to Joker. Almost stolen by Knight, but then that's Tata Yore almost converting that from 25 yards out. So here's Oakdown, finds Yore. And by find Yore, I mean Yore plays to the other team, and that's intercepted. As Reykjavik holds on to possession. But now Buenos Aires takes it back. Oakdown trying again, but only finds a Reykjavik player again in Scarpetta this time. Lopta going forward to Casual, is taking it into the box, but is marked by 2 men. Elects to go back to Joker. Back into Casual, who's lost both of his marks. Gets it over. Ricky Bobby from 2 feet away is not going to miss it from 2 feet away. And that's a third for Reykjavik in the 27th minute. And now this game is starting to become a bit of a runaway. We see the tight offside here. And they're kind of close. I don't know if that warrants a full. Those lines are close. That's it. They're kind of close. As will that take us to halftime? It will not. Here's Letizier on the corner, headed away by Torres, but picked up by Lapta. Lapta taking to that back line, looks for the cross. No, blocked by Knight, picked up by Vanderslof. He's going to try to find Brooks. Patron does. Gets it over to Jeeves to Guevara. They're trying to get it out of their zone, but can't do it without giving it back to Reykjavik. Here's Ladiver going all the way back to Sterling. Sterling to Lapta, to Scarpetta, to Ladiver, to Letizier, to Andrews. Andrews to Bobby. Bobby to the back line. Over looking for Rashford. That's going to be cleared out. Picked up by Buenos Aires as we cross into the 42nd minute, but then stolen back by Ladiver. 42nd minute still. Guevara going deep, looking for Jeeves, but no, headed by Letizier, picked up by Andrews for Reykjavik. Andrews taking it to the back corner, goes to the long cross, maybe looking for Rashford, couldn't find him. Maybe he was looking for Lapta, but couldn't find him. Either way, they were looking for somebody, and they could not find them. As that's going to be intercepted. And will that take us to the half? No. 47th minute, right near the end of stoppage time. Maybe about 45 seconds left in this half. As Letizier passes the ball to Sterling. Who will look for Lapta, but will only find Knight, who will try to head it over to Vanderslof. Now they find Amo Tali going over to Katarina. That's going to be headed away by Scarpetta. And Reykjavik maintains possession again. They go over to Miko Rashford. That's going to be stolen by Gorkov, picked up by Penshaw. Over to Katarina. And that goes to Gorkov. Gorkov goes to Torres. Torres fires and scores! And it's 3-1. And if Buenos Aires wants to come back into this game, this goal right before the half. This could have been seconds before the whistle. Is a fantastic way to get that started. I was going to see the offside here, potentially. Those lines are close. But now we're not even at the half yet. We're still in stoppage time. Here's Lapta. Oh my God, could you imagine if Reykjavik strikes one back right here? That would really just be a killer goal, and it is! Zizou Lapta says, oh, you got a goal to make it a 2-goal lead? I'm sorry, no, it's a 3-goal lead going into half. And that is an absolute momentum killer. If that goal for Buenos Aires at 45 plus 3 gave them life, then the goal from Reykjavik at 45 plus 3 just sucked it right back out. As we go to the half, Reykjavik up 4-1. Out shooting 15-7. 8 on target to 1. However, Buenos Aires has made that one shot on target really count. But we'll see if anything changes for the second half as we hit the locker room. Does not look like it. 51st minute now. Here's Letizier. It's headed. It's blocked. Jeeves blocks the rebound from Bobby. We're going to have another corner kick to be once again taken by Letizier. And that one's going to be headed over the net by Ricky Bobby. '55th minute now. This is a throw-in from Reykjavik. Just all the set pieces. And that's going to be cleared out by Buenos Aires, picked up by Torres. Torres taking it towards that back corner, looking for Penshaw maybe inside the box, but there's too many Reykjavik players there. and that's going to be cleared out. But now Buenos Aires on possession again, finds Franco Torres, throwing dives, and Torres scores! And now it's once again a 2-goal deficit. Buenos Aires showing life. It's still a mountain to climb, but you made base camp. And that's one of the hardest things about climbing the mountain. I think. Those lines are close. I've never climbed a mountain before. Any mountain climbers out there? Is making base camp one of the harder things? Either way. So we go. Oh, big trip. Oh, a second trip. Rashford was tripped, who then tripped Lopta, and that's got to be careful out there on the pitch. As we have Katarina looking for Penshaw, but no, Lopta keeps it in. Goes over to Scarpetta, clears it, goes back to Sterling, who tries to clear it out, but it's picked up by Buenos Aires. Finds Franco Torres, finds Brooks Patron, but Torres accidentally passes it to Ladiver instead of Torres. And Rashford with the shot that's actually almost in. Turned aside by Oakdown. As that's going to be picked up by Ladiver. Stolen by Franco Torres. Headed forward by Penshaw, but can't retain possession. As we hit 67th minute. Off the goal kick. Here's Casual. Chips the keeper. As Val would say, get me some salsa for that chip. As Reykjavik goes up 5-2. And surely that has to be the dagger. We're back to a 3-goal deficit with only 23 minutes-ish to play. Buenos Aires would need some absolutely out-of-their-mind plays to get back in. As here's Letizier on the corner. It's headed away by Katarina. Ricky Bobby will win the race to it with Gorkov. Go over to Ladiver. As Reykjavik playing with the ball now, 80th minute, excuse me. But it's stolen by Gorkov. Gorkov takes a pass into the attacking third, gets tripped up a little bit, and Reykjavik will take that momentary opportunity and win possession back, but they can't clear the ball out. So Sterling will pick it up, and we'll try again. Rolls it out to Scarpetta, to Ladiver. Back over to Scarpetta. They're playing a little bit of back and forth. Franco Torres gets in the middle of the triangle to try to break it up. They go over to Brooks Patron, over to Gorkov. Gorkov to Tali, forward to Torres. Torres to Brooks Patron, finds Edwin van der Sar, who scores! Except he doesn't! How? Oh, okay, that's. Edwin, I love you. That's a smidge offside. Just a smidge. And that's going to do it. That's going to be full time. 5-2 final score from Reykjavik. As they take a commanding lead in this group. It's going to be very tough for anyone to try to overtake them on schedule. And I believe that will clinch them a knockout spot. Does it? Reykjavik will play Hollywood. So no, it doesn't. It all but does. Like, they have a 10-goal differential. The second highest is Hollywood, who is at 4. And in order to knock them out, Buenos Aires would have to win by, 14 over Athênai, which, yeah. So they're not mathematically in, but like I said, they're everything but. So that'll put the bow on Group B for today. We'll go to Group C. Group C, the group with 3 D1 teams in it. Currently being led by Romana and Kaapstad, who both have 3 points, to Paris and Interlondon's 0 points. And we're actually getting right into the game, it sounds like. We are for Interlondon versus AS Paris. You see Interlondon coming out in the 4-2-3-1 DM AM wide. AS Paris coming out in the 4-3-3 with Papadopoulos at the top. As you see, there is our table. And we're just about ready to go. Here at the Boris Johnson Party Dome. And boy, are we... That time is going quickly already. Here's Washburn. Going to be headed away by Howd, picked up by the Heretic. Heretic, the lone E in from Hollywood this season. Rolls it out to dives in a lot. Over to Donnarumma, over to Gavin Millar. Tries to go forward to Jerry, finds Millar again, finds Howd, finds Jerry up front. Over to Pinkman. Pinkman goes back to Howd. Very close to that sideline as Millar looks inside for Dexter Minone and finds him, and it's 1-0. Interlondon. Pinkman goes in. Finds Howd. Howd to Millar, who is wide open, gets the really good pass up to Minone. We'll check the offsides here. Those lines are close, but Snooks does keep Minone on. '21st minute now. Here's Ruma going over to Millar. Ruma goes back to dives in a lot. Forward to McGurk. McGurk goes deep to Howd, over to Jerry. Jerry, poor pass, unfortunately, finds only Isabella Cortez. Brisky goes to Cortez to Heather Bold. That's going to be intercepted by Interlondon. They're looking for Clements up front, but Washburn heads it away, gets possession back for AS Paris. As here's Lynn going over to Snooks. Snooks gets past Minone, gets it to Alistair, goes forward. Leonidas Papadopoulos fires and scores. And now we're all square at 1. In the 22nd minute, Alistair finds Papadopoulos way deep past Ruma. Can't draw it up any better than that. And now time in this first half ticking away very quickly. Here's Brisky on the corner. That's going to be headed away, but recovered by Paris. We are in stoppage time in the 47th minute, or the 45th plus 2. That's Papadopoulos missing the header. That's going to be a goal kick, and that'll be the half. A 1-1 draw presently. In London, up 6 shots to 4, 3 on target to 2. XG very close, 0.77 to 0.33. Very quick first half. But we'll see if any substitutions are coming in as we get ready for the second half. Looks like no. So we're right back into play here. Same 22. We just switch sides. As we go to black, no big challenge by Dives in a lot, but still held on to by Parias. Cortez goes for the back line, and that's going to be Papadopoulos again! Puts AS Paris up 2-1. He just lurks near that goal. I'm not sure who had the mark on him. Looks like it was Dives in a lot, but Papadopoulos just takes that extra step forward. And now Paris holds the 2-1 lead. Now this second half flying by. London running out of time to find their equalizer. 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. That's it. AS Paris takes the win 2-1. Very even game. 12 shots to 11, 5 on target to 4, 1.13 XG to 0.97. But AS Paris made those shots count. You see Gavin Millar with the 8.1 performance with the assist. Walter Pinkman with the 7.2. And we'll see how it looks for Paris. The 8.6 for Papadopoulos with the 2 goals. Who gets player of the match? Henrik Lind. Picking up a 7.6 along with Isabella Cortez. So what does that do for the group? Well, that puts Paris up with no goal differential, but 3 points. So depending on what happens in Romana Kaapstad, because Romana only has a +2 goal differential, Kaapstad only has a +1. So if a team wins by 2, Paris could be looking at a spot, an advancing spot at the end of this day. So we're going to go to game number 6 of the day. It is the aforementioned Kaapstad versus AC Romana. Both of these teams sitting at the top of the table, like I said, with 3 points each. +2 goal differential on the part of Romana. +1 on the part of Kaapstad. Will one of these two teams find a way to push themselves up to the top of the group? As Kaapstad comes out in a 4-3-3. With Kraustis Jr. at the head. Romana comes out in a 4-2-3-1 with Jeffrey Levert at the head of it. What you see there is our table, again, our live table update. So let's see who's going to stake their claim at the top of Group C. We are underway. See Dieter going over to Scud Muffin. Looking for Kraustis Jr., but that's intercepted by Smart, given over to King. King goes for Levert. That's going to be Dexter Hall. That was a very, very risky move there. See Levert charging up the kick, getting the backswing on it ready. Dexter Hall just falls on it. If he falls a quarter of a second later, that's a goal for Jeffrey Levert. Good slide by Powdered Toast Man. That's going to go over to Anavier. Over to Nunez. Schweinsteiger. Levert! And that's going to be called offside. So that is disallowed. Ooh, rave party lines. As here's Hall. That's going to be headed away by Smart. Picked up by Levert. Levert takes it past midfield. Looking to get past Hogg. Goes back to Kemoatu. And that's, you can't do that in the box. You can't have that big of a slide tackle in the box. Here's Anavier to take the penalty, trying to beat Dexter Hall, fires and scores! AC Romana takes a 1-0 lead. Hall guesses right, but just can't move fast enough. As here we are on the 28th minute, we go over to Tyson King. Over to Smart. Smart to Toastman. Who goes back to Smart. They go a little pass back and forth. Kraustis Jr. trying to get in the middle of the two of them. So they go over to Anavier, over to Schweinsteiger. And that's just, whoops. That's just a little bit of a mistouch. And they lose possession to Dexter Hall. Going to roll it out to Kamavinga. Over to Mueller. To Orange Slices. Halftime Orange Slices. Here's Nunez to Toastman. Toastman goes looking for Anavier. Finds him deep. Hall way out of position. And Anavier scores. 29th minute. AC Romana takes that 2-0 lead. Hall is way out of the box. Anavier bings it off the crossbar. So now not only does that solidify AC Romana up the top of the table presently, it also puts AS Paris into that qualification spot. As we have Dexter Hall going out, they find Fisher. Fisher can't quite get around Kemalatu, and it's going to be intercepted by Anavier. Anavier crosses midfield, looks for Jeffrey Levert, finds Levert. Levert fires and scores! Binging it off the post like it's a pinball game. And that's 32nd minute, 3-0 lead for AC Romana. And that's going to take us to the half. AC Romana holding that 3-0 lead over Kaapstad. And it's just been all AC Romana this half. 9 shots to 1, 6 on target to 0. 1.79 to, I didn't even catch it. I think it was 0.008. And that's going to bring us right into the second half. See now Schweinsteiger playing it off the set piece, playing it off his chest, goes over to Tyson Nunez. One of the Nunez, and we find King over to the other Nunez. In the 54th minute goes over to Matthew. Matthew stolen by halftime Orange Slices, but stolen back by Romana off the pass. Here's Schweinsteiger over to Nunez, going back in for Anavier into the box. Anavier finds Levert off the rebound off of Doug and scores. He missed the first try because it went off of Doug, but then quickly regained possession and puts it in to put Romana up 4-0. You see Doug sticks his foot out to get the block, but Levert not phased. As here's Anavier, it's headed away. Picked up by Kemalatu. Over the Smart to Matthew. To Nunez. Picked up by Schweinsteiger. That's going to be a goal kick. And that second half seems to be the story today. Second half flies by. Already in stoppage time, Romana holding that 4-0 lead over Kaapstad. Gives it to Smart. Some would say a smart play. I'm sorry. Okay, we go Jeffrey Laverne, who fires. It's blocked by Hall. And here's Anavier to take the corner. It's headed but missed by Levert. As Kaapstad looks to take it out, they find Dieter. Go over to Muffin. Intercepted over to Smart. We're just, at this point, it's all just formality as we wait for the referee to blow the whistle. And there it is. A 4-0 victory for Romana. Again, doesn't guarantee them their way out of the group, but it makes it all but. That's going to be a very difficult deficit for anyone to overcome. And actually, hold on, that might actually guarantee them out of the group because Kaapstad will be playing Inter London. No, it doesn't. There's a world where they could miss, but, and like I said, it also puts AS Paris into a qualification position as we see Anavier with a 10.0 rating with the 2 goals and the I believe that was the called off goal, but that's going to put the that's going to be the end of Group C for today's match day. So we're here at our final group, Group D, where we presently have Cairo and Tokyo at the top of the group, with Schwarzwälder and Seoul at the bottom of the group, and we're already getting right into this next game. Our next game, which is Schwarzwälder versus Tokyo. Tokyo sitting in second place. Well, it's more of a tie for first. They have the same points and goal differential. And Schwarzwälder tied for third. So a lot can happen here. Tokyo can almost nearly punch their ticket to the knockouts if they win. If they win this game. If Schwarzwälder comes back and wins, then we can have a very, very interesting final day in Group D. See Schwarzwälder coming out in, oh my goodness, what is that? And Tokyo comes out in a 4-2-4. I need a second to just process. It's been a very long day. I apologize. But I just need a second to process what I just saw with that tactic, but we are underway. As here's Gintonic over to Dion. Dion to Zerhoni. Looks over for Dion again. Just tiptoeing around the box. That's a free kick. Not going to be a penalty outside the box. As Dion takes that free kick very quickly, but it's going to be headed away. Picked up by Berbatov. Berbatov goes over to Schenkinger. Back over to Berbatov on the edge of the box again. Into Maximiliano. But it's going to be intercepted by Tokyo. And this game is underway. Whew. 14th minute now. That's going to be boomed out, picked up by Dion. Dion goes over to Zerhoni, to Tucker. Tucker fires. It is a bit wide, just a bit outside on that shot. Here's Soderberg going over to Guerra, to Asagi, to Rise. Slide, but the slide only goes to Hayden. But Saran Central will make the save. As Weddington goes back to Saran Central, who's going to try to go deep. Maybe looking for Tucker, but can't find him. It's going to be taken by Tokyo, who's going to quickly go back into the attack. Shinji Kaido, all by themselves on that back corner. Gets it to Guerra, to Isagi. Going over to Nessie. Nessie fires it to Rise, who scores! And that puts Tokyo up 1-0 in the 17th minute. What an assist. As we go to the 23rd minute now. Tokyo up 1-0. Schwarzwälder trying to find their way back into this game. Finds Maximiliano over to Gintonic, who's past the defense, and he's just too narrow. '24th minute. Here's Visser to Isagi. The Sky Rise. Isagi going deep, looking for Hayden. Hayden fires and scores! How on earth did that shot sneak in? As Hayden dances at the corner flag. We have to see that again. Here's Kaido. Goes back to Isagi. Finds Hayden, who just stuck around Uwellian, who just takes the shot off the first touch, and it barely ekes in to the goal. That's as close as you could get to hitting the goalpost without actually hitting the goalpost. And that might take us to halftime, and it does. Tokyo holding the 2-0 lead over Schwarzwälder. You see 10 shots to 9, 7 on target to 2. And yet, Schwarzwälder has the higher XG at 1.13 to 0.74, which is honestly, to me, just fascinating, which makes me wonder what kind of shot that Schwarzwälder almost converted that I almost certainly saw, but I am probably already forgetting. Anywho, no subs are coming in for the second half. As Schwarzwälder now has the hill to climb if they want to keep their knockout dreams alive. As that's going to be cleared out, given to Versetti. Rube gives it to Visser to Shet. Who goes back to Rube, back to Versetti. Over to Nessie. And they're just going to keep playing it in the back. Why take it out? You have a 2-goal lead. You don't need to do anything risky, but now that's going to be a loss of possession, but a recovery of possession as Guerra tries to get into the box. But there's just a whole bunch of Schwarzwälder people there. But they find Nessie off on the flank. Nessie with the PK fire cross. And that's Sky Rise putting it in again. 3-0 Tokyo. Is that they love that play with Nessie going out wide and going for the long cross to Rise. Speaking of, here's Ness again. That's Shinji Kaido ahead of the corner. And it's 4-0. Their second goal in 2 minutes. Kaido somehow unmarked. '65th minute now. Off the throw-in. Maximiliano goes over to Whittington, to Zerhoni, to Schenkinger. As far as Schwarzwälder wants to get into this game, they need to score in probably the next 2 to 3 minutes. If not faster. Here's Whittington, over to Dion. Dion going deep, looking for Tucker. Finds Tucker. Tucker has a clean lane. Tucker fires, and saved by Rube. And I thought for a minute that they might have just spoken that into existence. But no. 77th minute. Zerhoni to Whittington. Goes back to Schenkinger to Saran Citrell. Uwellian Berbatov goes deep to Tucker. Tucker at the edge of the box over to Dion. Fires. It's saved. Rube having a heck of a game. Take Rube, call him Rubik, because he's been impossible to solve for Schwarzwälder today. 89th minute. Man, I've just had so many of those today. I'm sorry. Zerhoni. To Nessie to Kaido. Trying to make it 5, but no, that's going to be headed away. Picked up by Berbatov. Over to Tucker. Tucker trying to get around Versetti, but Versetti keeps running right in front of him. Big slide by Versetti, but picked up by Maximiliano. Over to Berbatov, to Gintonic, to Zerhoni. Zerhoni finds Dion. Dion can't find the shot, but goes back to Zerhoni, who scores! And that's not going to change the outcome of this game, but man, it's going to make you feel a little good. You've denied Rube a clean sheet bonus. And that's going to do it. That is full time. It is 4-1 in favor of Tokyo over Schwarzwälder. So that's going to put him up to 6 points with a +5 goal differential, depending on how this Cairo Seoul game goes. They may have punched their ticket to the knockouts. We will find out. But a very well played game. And there were some bright spots. For Schwarzwälder, you see the 7.9 from Dion. But Tokyo was just all over them today. Well played game, but we'll see how that affects the group as we get ready to go into our final game of the day. That game being Seoul versus Cairo City, which we'll get into in about a minute or so when we come back. Alrighty, we are here for our final game of the day. Seoul versus Cairo City. Seoul coming out in the 4-3-1-2. Cairo City coming out in the backwards S. The rare backwards S. As you see, there is a live look at our table. Cairo City in the yellow, Seoul in the green. We are underway. With Seoul starting us off. Here's Tenderloin going over the Skets. As they're going to play a little bit of back and forth football here as Coffee Biscuit tries to get in the middle of it. They go over the Paul, looking for maybe Aloisi, who's just a little too slow on the draw. Now we join back in the 13th minute. Aloisi looking for Paul, who goes back to Tenderloin. To Busquets, to Man. Man to Aloisi. Baraka Aloisi scores. And it is 1-0 in favor of Seoul. See Busquets go deep for Man, who beats Rupp. Gets the clean pass to Aloisi, who was past Lauren. As here's Schauenard in the 17th minute. That's going to be headed away, but picked back up by Paul. Over to Yarvin and back over to Paul. There's just a mass of people at the front of this box. I thought the Hollywood game was earlier with the way the traffic was set up. As there's Schauenard. Stolen by Adamu. Goes to about midfield. But it's intercepted by Seoul. Picked up by Man. Here's Baraka Aloisi again. It's saved by Larac. As we have Paul now going over to Schauenard. Going over to Fist to Tenderloin, trying to find a way into a Man. Larac jumps, is out of position for Baraka Aloisi. Again, his second of the day. It's 19 minutes in, and Seoul has a 2-0 lead. Here's Biscuit going back to Lauren. If Cairo wants to make the knockouts, they need to try to get back into this game. They very much control their own destiny here, and they have to try. You want to try to at least get one of those goals back before the half, as the ball just pop up in the air. No one will really go for it, but it's recovered by Seoul. Over to Neuer. To Fist, to Tenderloin. Forward to Yarvinen. Seoul moving the ball very methodically. Big challenge by Motor. No foul called, but here's Aloisi. Can't find the clean shot. Goes back for Paul. Danny Paul scores. 3-0 in favor of Seoul. You see, Aloisi could have maybe gone for the shot. He was only had the keeper to beat, but instead unselfishly sends it back to Paul. Here is Lauren. Over to Rupp. Rupp to Larac. Larac goes out deep looking for anybody really, but finds only Seoul players in the form of Pork Tenderloin. Pass forward to Spoon. Over to Aloisi. Oh no, not to Aloisi. Over to Schauenard. They go over to Hugh Man to Aloisi again, but Seoul loses the foot race and is cleared back to midfield. But Seoul regains possession. They find Ryan. Ryan going over to Aloisi. To Man! Hugh Man! Oh, the humanity! As Seoul goes up 4-0 over Cairo. Aloisi gets it over to Man. Man finds a shot around Rupp. Rupp was in front of him. But Man just found that perfect angle that he could still get a clean shot off. "31st minute. You go over to Motor. His Neuer will just fall on the balls. It's sent back in the way of the goal. Neuer goes deep. but can't find his man. But neither can Ibrahimovic. They find Spoon to Busquets. But intercepted, taken by Heimsen to Pleasure Man. Over to Biscuit. Coffee Biscuit fires and scores! And that's 1 out of 4 that Cairo City needs. And we are off the kickoff here. 33rd minute. Here's Baraka Aloisi. To Ryan, the Chouinard, looking for Aloisi again. Intercepted by Cairo. They go over to Adamu. Adamu looking for Biscuit, but overshot him a little bit. It ends up at the feet of Tenderloin, who's going to clear it out. And Seoul retains possession, going over to Yarvinen. Yarvinen almost hands it away to the Pleasure Man, but keeps hold of it. Looks for Paul. They find Hugh Man, that's blocked. And now recovered by Cairo City as we cross into the 34th minute. Going over to Laudrup, over to McGlaskam's. McGlaskam's going to climbs in. Biscuit fires, but just a bit too wide. As here's Motor on the free. That's going to be headed by Rupp and put in by Leibsen. And Cairo City is within 2. They put 2 on the board in 5 minutes. And now they're back in this game. We're still not even at halftime. 40th minute now. Seoul to Paul. That's headed. It's off the post. Aloisi almost has his hat trick in the first half, but bings it off the post the wrong way. 3 minutes of stoppage time. That's going to take us 2.5. And oh my goodness. Seoul up 4-2. 18 shots to 4, 10 on target to 3, 2.52 XG to 0.69. And for a while, this looked like this was going to be a runaway, but now it's a game. Seoul has allowed this to become a game. So we have the second half to go. No changes coming in, substitutions-wise. If Cairo City can even get a draw here, that does wonders for their qualification chances. But there's Baraka Aloisi, who fires as Larock is out of the goal and doesn't move. And that's a hat trick for Aloisi. You see the ball goes deep. Larock just kind of crumples to the ground. Now Aloisi is able to put it back, and that is a soul-crushing goal. That one was not on purpose, but man, I wish it was. As we go over the man to Chouinard, to Ryan, that's going to be saved by Larock, kept in bounds by Man, but given to Cairo. Just climbs it. So now have Chouinard on the corner. That's going to be headed away by Lauren. Picked up by Fist over to Paul. Paul goes to Spoon. Paul goes to Tenderloin. It's intercepted. Picked up by Leimsen, who gives away possession with a sloppy touch. Over to Seoul. Chouinard going forward for Aloisi. Aloisi taking it to that back line. Looking for Paul, but it's intercepted by Laudrup. Picked up by McGlaskam's. They're going to go deep. Out to midfield. Over to Abramovich. It's going to be almost stolen, but now here's Coffee Biscuit. Free shot. It's turned away by Neuer, who parries it aside. '75th minute, Motor on the corner. 81st minute. Motor on the corner. That's almost looked exactly the same, but Cairo holds on to possession as they look for a goal. No, he is offside. Motor was offside. That looked like a goal for a second, but turns out offside. So now we're in stoppage time here. Seoul looking to cruise comfortably to that 3 goal. Oh, that's a red card from McGlascom's seconds before the end of the game. Oh, dear. It's going to go out of bounds for a throw-in. Oh, my goodness. Ryan goes over to Aloisi. Console take advantage in this small amount of time. That's going to be a corner kick. Never mind. That's going to be the game as Seoul wins 5-2. And my goodness, what a game that was. I don't even know how to analyze what I just saw. I'm just going to say 30 shots to 11. 17 on-target shots for Seoul. Imagine being Luc Larac and you make 12 saves. 12 saves! And still surrender 5. That is heartbreaking. But still, Rupp had some good games to show. Kleimsden had the goal. Larac had a good game despite, I said he made a lot of saves. Aloisi, the man of the match. But, oh boy, what a final game that was. But that's going to close the book on Group D, and that is going to close the book on our match day today. As you see, there is our look at the table for the group stage of the SSL Cup. Group A, a lot of things can still happen. Catalunya and Sao Paulo sitting on 4 points each. Laos sitting on 3. Montreal playing for pride, unfortunately, but still can make something happen. The other 3 groups all look very similar. 1 team with 6 points, 2 teams with 3 points, and 1 team with 0 points. A lot of things can happen. Any of those third-place teams could make a jump into second. It's going to be a really exciting final match day that I hope. We had some high-scoring games today. I hope you enjoyed it. As for me, that's going to do it for me tonight. If you stuck it around through all 8 games, I really appreciate you doing so. It was a lot of fun. I hope to see you for match day 3. But until then, I've been Xenlos, and I hope you have a fantastic night. Good night.